Aloha everybody, my name is Masahiro Ito, Director and Chief Scientist of Aquaculture Research and Development, College of Micronesia Land Grant Program in Pohnpei, Federated States of Micronesia. The title of the project is Improving Pearl Quality by Grafting Technologies and Husbandry Method for Development of a Hatchery-Based Black Pearl Industry in Pohnpei, the Federated States of Micronesia, CTSA FY06, years 1, 2, and 3. Improving the quality of cultured pearl has always been a primary objective of the pearl farming industry. This project aims to address problems affecting pearl quality such as flaws and irregular shapes and post-grafting survivorship of the host oysters. Solving these problems would improve the sustainability of the black pearl industry in the state of Pohnpei, as well as the profitability of existing black pearl farming in the Pacific. Pearl production has been dependent heavily on the performance of grafting technicians who decides, for example, which oyster to be regrafted for the seconds. So far, so many oysters used for the first grafting have been wasted without further pearl production. 40 to 50% oysters which did not produce any pearls after the first grafting, and additional 50 to 70% oysters among the oysters which produce pearls are usually discarded without regrafting attempt. So total of about 65 to 85% of the oysters operated at the first grafting never be regrafted. This has been a bottleneck of pearl business to become more liberated, sustainable and profitable performances. The overall goal of this project was to find simpler and more economical ways of improving pearl quality by grafting techniques and husbandry method to improve shape, for example, roundness, reduce flaws, improve post-grafting survivorship, and transfer pearl aquaculture technology to Micronesia and other regions. We have developed hatchery facilities in 2001, and after that we developed a pilot farm and demonstration farm at the Niche Point in the main island, and also a packing atoll 25 miles east of main island Pohnpei, and Pinguelap Atoll 150 miles of the, west of the Pohnpei Island, and also the southeast southern tip of the main island. There is a tiny island called Penio Island. We developed another community-based pearl farm. Growers want pearls fetch far better prices than any other shape, so a price target of pearl farming is achieving higher rates of roundness in the product. Generally speaking, however, the gem quality perfectly round pearls of the highest luster are rare, being found in only about 5 to 10% of the total outputs of the grafting operations. While 30 or 40% of marketable quality black pearls, rounded, less flaw, better luster, and favored color, etc., are produced from grafted oysters, the majority of the pearls are irregularly shaped, such as baroques, semi-baroques, and with circles or spot marks, or both. Here are the pearl with spot marks, spot or a concave hole-like, tiny hole-like, flows. More than half of the pearls produced are irregularly shaped, and some of them are quite unique, so they will fetch the higher prices compared to the round pearl, but the most of them are not really impressive. So, and also we cannot control their shape, so they are regarded, the irregular shapes, and as a quality, and they are regarded as not the top quality. We can also see the similar phenomenon on the shell itself, and in the shell, that this is a flawless nacre. We can also find some flaws on the shell surface, like line marks and spots. These are the blemish, the flaws, and we find that along the edge of the shells, inner side of the shells, and we find a very tiny spot. This picture shows that it is interesting in one oysters, same oysters, with the one side has spot marks and another side is flawless, no blemish. This project also focuses on mechanisms of flow formation, particularly the so-called circle or spot mark, which are commonly found in a significantly large proportion. For example, the 60 to 95% of total farmed black pearl production overseas. As described in the final report for year 1 and progress report for year 2 of the project, the result of preliminary experiments and year 1 work showed significant quality improvements in increased roundness and flow reduction. This picture shows that the similar improvement in the roundness rate, and also a reduction of the circle mark during the experiment 2007-2008. We found a similar phenomenon, and the result from 2008-2009 regrafting result, and the roundness increased, improved, and circle mark reduced, and interestingly the spot mark recurring, and since the experiment repeated 3 times, 2007 to 2009. These pictures show that the example of the shape improvement at the second harvest. Before means that the virgin pearls from the first operation, and after means that we grafted and harvested as the second pearl. This is the example of the circle mark reduction or improved compared to the virgin pearls, and so the virgin pearls with the circle mark and some of the pearls are completely the circle marks completely disappeared at the second harvest. This is the other way around. The spot mark recurred to the following regrafting operation. The virgin pearls with the spot mark, and the pearls from the second harvest also are retaining the spot marks. For the survivorship of the post-grafting husbandry method, and we tested a chaplet culture method and a lantern net culture method. This is 2 months after grafting, they are placed in two different culture methods. And the culture methods show that the higher, similar survival rate. And however, the lantern net showed slightly lower survival rate than chaplet culture system. These are the left-hand side is the chaplet culture, and the right-hand side is the culture in the lantern net. After post-grafting trauma occurs during the grafting operation, so the host mortality was high during the first 2 months. However, that they are stabilized and then are maintaining a quite high survival rate. It's around 95 to 90%. For the skill training and technology transfer programs, we have been training micronation locals at our pilot and demonstration farm at Niche Point in Pohnpei, main island. For this involved that the farm maintenance work and handling it and care of the grafting the host, and as well as the donor growing out the donor oysters, and also during a support work of our seeding operation, and as well as post-grafting husbandry works. We have been training a micronation staff for a selective breeding program to support the future pearling industry in Micronesia. And also we hire retired master grafting technicians. He's well respected and well known Japanese retired seeding technician, master seeding technician, and he has been working with us since 2003, and he's willing to teach our micronation local people and technicians how to handle pearl oysters for grafting operations, as well as the basic techniques for half pearl seeding. And this year and next year we are hoping him to come back to continue teaching, and we hope to start a round pearl grafting technique. We have been working with the community, island community people, for skill training and transferring the pearling technology to the Micronesian island people. So now they understand how to handle these growing out, the juveniles growing out the pearl oysters for pearl cultivation work.